Good morning. Today I'm gonna continue with my experiment. Today is 24 days later. I have planted these tomato seedlings. When you look at it, you're gonna see they have grown quite a lot. But I'm not gonna do the transplanting right now because our weather is still very cold. Okay, I don't want them to go through shock. But I'm gonna wait in a couple of days to see if it's gonna get warmer. And so let me go around and show you the same seedlings I planted earlier, but they are all 21 days from the planting days, 24 I mean, I'm making a mistake, from the planting days, and you see how tall they are. They have some of them already get to full leaf stage where I can transplant. But however, like I said, the weather is not to my advantage because we treat tomato in California as a summer crop. Okay, so I want to wait until it gets warmer before I can do that. However, I will show you my summer squash, which sometimes control the temperature themselves. What do I mean by controlling the temperature themselves? Is that sometimes they absorb winter cold and still do better. Okay, compared with tomato. You know, tomato is a very sensitive uh, crop. Okay, so we have to be careful with it compared with the squash. Okay, the fastest way for me to do this is for you to watch my hand. You may not see me because I'm having difficulty to get full image of me. Is the first thing I do is to make a hole where I'm gonna put this cup of my transplant, okay, so that I can calculate how many days and then and also add water to it because though we have rain last night, but when I opened the soil, I noticed that the water did not saturate this my raised bed I prepare for transplant. So I'm gonna add water to prevent shock, like I said earlier, okay, in this hole before I move the plant. So let me prepare my hose. Okay, watch what I'm doing. Spacing is very important to me, okay, in between the plant. It really depends on your area. I'm trying to get a food spacing. Okay, that's what I'm doing, so that the plant will not compete with nutrients and the other environmental factors like sun and uh, even water. Okay, sun is more of an essence here. Okay, so that they will not begin to shade each other. Okay, and when that happens, you will notice some plant will take advantage of others and some will not do very well as expected because others are shading them. Okay, so in this case, I think these are the best I can do here. And then, and if I count my hole I have created, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I'm gonna be able to accommodate 7 plants here. Okay, only before I go to another area. So with that, what I encourage people to do is to take your plants like this, okay, and make sure you scoop all the way down, scoop all the way down so that you can get all the root cavities and even include the soil. Okay, so the plant cannot be totally shocked. So if you look at this one, you see I got all the roots. Okay, so I will drop it into this hole, which I will also water later. And then once I water it later, then I will close them. And that will be an advantage or opportunity I have given to my plant to do well. Okay, so if you look at it again, I got all the roots and they did very well in this crop. They seem to rotate very well. So I will continue and then repeating the process while monitoring my spacing. Make sure I do not uh, put them close together. Sometimes it may happen by accident. You know, I recommend people if you can use a tape to do instead of eyeballing like I'm doing, that will be okay. So make sure your spacing is okay. And some would like to recommend spacing over a foot and a half. Some will say 24 because if it's in a field environment, 24 may be perfect, okay, so that the plant will have a wider room. But since I'm doing it in a raised bed like this, I don't mind, okay? And so, but as long as they will uh, have enough space to go down, that's okay with me. So I continue. Uh, and also, I want you to look around this raised bed. And if you notice, I already have irrigation drip set up. Okay, it's very important to know. And what I will do when I finish planting this, and I make sure this nozzle is placed in each individual crop or in between. When they spread, this irrigation system will save a lot of water for me. It's not like flood irrigation, which wastes a lot of water. You know, in California, we're very sensitive about saving water, okay? And if you don't do it, you know, you're going to have a water bill, high water bill to worry about. So I don't want to subject myself to a high water bill. And then that's why I'm using the best irrigation techniques that save water. Okay? There's a lot of things people do when they do this. And I've seen them over the video. When people have inexperience about transplant, they tend to pound or bury the crop as if they're trying to help the crop to get settled or something like that. No, I advise you don't do that, okay? Because what you're really doing is that you're more like a berry, the crop, you know. In that case, when you do that, you are compacting the soil. The air and the porosity of the soil is very important, where the water and the air will circulate through. And that's what gives the plant life. So I will encourage you to do the best you can to just give them a room to relax. And then, you know, plant is a living thing. Once you transplant them and close the soil enough, not pounding them, they will do very well. You know, they will be very comfortable as long as they are getting this natural phenomena, sun, water, enough. They will do very well. So as we transplant today, we're gonna follow it up when they until they start bearing fruit. Okay, I'll show you the size of fruit I'm getting using this method. And I think some of you already know how I prepare my soil. Go back to my um, uh, previous video I have done. I showed you what I'm using. It's mostly organic, um, a mixture of grass and then a mixture of winter leaf that we collected in the winter. Okay, and then the next thing I will do now is to go ahead and then put water on this, and then you see how. Okay, next is to make sure I saturate every hole or cut I put down here with water. You can see the type of water system I'm using to make sure this hole is saturated with water. No? I can repeat it over and over again. Okay? Because if I don't do this, and then I'm looking for trouble. The first shock they will get for me to remove them from this part, little part, or as I call it, they will get a shock that will allow them to wilt or tilt. Okay, that's not a good. It's no. It's more like you're trying to breathe. Okay, you hold your breath for sometimes you disrupted your life. Okay, when you're gonna recover from that, you want to catch your breath quickly, and but you're not gonna find oxygen around. It may cause you to die. That's the something the plant is feeling. Uh, So now I have completed this water, which I may wait it to soak. Then I will just close them with a tiny uh, uh, soil, the same soil from the hole I have made. Okay, I close them and let it go. And the less water they will need have to be from my irrigation system, because I'm gonna show you how I open up my irrigation nozzles, okay, to give them water, to get water as they need. So my irrigation is set up, okay, with time. They come up every other day, and then that will be enough. But now I think I set it every 2 days because we have been getting rain. So remember, on my objective in what I'm doing, I idea of saving my resources is very important to me. Okay, so the next thing I'll do here is to take this nozzle. See, I open it a little bit, then I place them where it's not gonna be too much water. When it starts spraying, okay, that the idea is so these two plants can share one. Okay, I do the same here. These two plants can share one. Mhm. The same here. The same thing apply here. And the same thing apply here. Okay. So I still have a lot um, to go along with, especially if you notice here, I have a tree here. So the tree will come up when the water uh, warms up, but they are not going to disturb my tree because this in within 70 days I will be harvesting them and give trees room to do what they have to do. Okay, so I also have a wire this in to hold them down, something like this. okay, to hold them down so that they are not drifted by the other things, weather, or disturbed by wind or other things. Okay, that's pretty much what I have for you today. As I go on and transplanting other crops, I will share with you what I do. Okay, but over time, I'll continue to show you what I'm doing as we go along. But don't forget that your label is very important. Whether and especially I'm gonna do my labeling when I got different type of crop in those raised bed, so I don't get confused. Which squash is it? We have so many variety of squashes, okay? So I don't want to get confused. But in this case, I'm not doing that much this summer, so I know that this only green egg squash, like I have the summer green egg squash, okay? But I can put the one of this thing to remind me what it is, okay, as they go. Okay, thank you very much. I know my video has been very short, but as we go back and watch my previous videos and see what I'm trying to show. It's not how many video I put out here is more important. It's the stages in which we go from my garden to harvest. That's what's more important to me. And at the end, I will measure my yield from the harvest to see if these different techniques I'm using, which one work better. Remember how I started this. Okay, I'm looking at what I call, if you look at the title of my YouTube title, I call it integrated system. You know, in integrated system, we are trying to, bottom line is that we are trying to recycle resources over and over again. That's all it is. Okay. And then some of this soil here, okay, this is the squash I'm talking about. If you look at it, they look stronger. The cutlet have already started going yellow, telling you they are ready to be transplanted, okay, so that they can obtain the nutrients they need from the bigger uh, raised bed where I will transplant them. Okay. At the same time, I'm gonna transplant them to this rounded um, raised bed. Okay. I'm gonna plant them around as much as I can, just to show you all the environment. I will be going from here to there. Okay. However, there is something I did. I didn't let you know, but I want you to know a day before you do your transplanting, bring the plant like this. Okay, it was yesterday I brought it out of a greenhouse and I kept it here so that they will be familiar with environment. So in this case, once I transplant them, they will not get a severe shock from greenhouse to the my raised table, my raised bed, I mean. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to avoid. That's why it's always to bring them 2 days or 3 days before you transplant so they get familiar with the change in the weather. You know, when we talk about weather, there is so many things involved, like temperature, which goes up and down, cold and warm, and also water also is a part of factors. Wind is also part of factors. Okay, all these things very important. You realize what is going on. Okay, after all this introduction, the next is for you to watch and see how I'm doing my transplant.